Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me on my latest YouTube video. This has been quite a hard one to make, to be honest. I'm going to try and rank the 22 Beatles original singles that were released in the UK. So we're just looking at the UK copies, and we're looking at the singles that was released between 1962 and 1970. So there's nothing after 1970. It is basically just the original UK singles. Now, for this video, I am using these singles here just to show you because it was the easiest thing to find. So this is a box set that came out in, I think it was around 1977, 1978 time in the UK. Like I say, I'm only using these because for convenience more than anything. I think it could be a little bit controversial, this, because it's changed a couple of times even when I've been doing it. It's not based on sales or anything like that. This is purely my thoughts and obviously what I think is the better ones and the least better ones. I will make it clear from the start, every Beatles single I absolutely love, but with anything where you're trying to rank something's got to be top and something's got to be bottom. Like I say, it's not based on airplay or UK sales or anything else. This is just purely my thoughts. So sit back, make yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. It could be a long video, but I'll try and make it as quick as I can. If you see me doing things like this on my computers, because I keep getting messages, something about my computer's going to close down and everything else. So, like I said yesterday, I think my computer's about ready to go to the computer scrapyard in the sky. So I hope you enjoy it. I don't think everybody's going to agree with my choices, but like I said, why I've even been compiling this, it has changed a couple of times, and this is just my thoughts for today. If you asked me yesterday or you asked me tomorrow, it could be completely different. So as always, something's got to be bottom and something's got to be top. So we're going to go from, there's 22 singles in total that the Beatles released in the UK. So this is going to go from 22 to number one, with number one being the one that I like the best. And like I say, this is just purely my own thoughts and opinions. I'll have a quick swag of coffee in my Cavern Club mug. Right then, if you're ready, sitting back and relaxing, we'll start off. Right, so at number 22, I've got Yellow Submarine and Eleanor Rigby. Although this did get to number one in the UK charts, and officially Yellow Submarine was the A-side, and Eleanor Rigby was the B-side, although it was actually credited as a double A-side single. I've got no problem with it whatsoever, but like I say, when you're doing something like this, something's got to be at the bottom and something's got to be at the top. Yellow Submarine, I've got a love-hate relationship with it. Sometimes I think it's probably the best single that the Beatles probably ever did, and then other times absolutely hate it. Eleanor Rigby is probably one of the best songs that Paul McCartney and John Lennon, although it was basically mainly Paul McCartney, ever wrote. So like I say, although that is the bottom, it doesn't mean that I hate it. Like I've said before, I love all these singles. But when you're doing something like this, obviously something's got to be at the bottom, something's got to be at the top. So that was number 22. Right, for number 21, this could be a bit controversial, this one actually. I've got Can't Buy Me Love with You Can't Do That. Again, you'll have to ignore these sleeves. I mean, it's not actually these that we're on about. We're just on about the singles. And if I wanted to get all my original singles out, it would have took me ages and ages and ages to get them. So that's You Can't Buy Me Love. And that's You Can't Do That. Again, I've got nothing personally against this at all. It's a catchy little pop tune. Again, it got to number one in the UK charts. In one way, I think You Can't Do That is actually a slightly stronger song than You Can't Buy Me Love. But then again, this was just, Can't Buy Me Love was the A-side, and You Can't Do That was the B-side. It wasn't a double A-side. Really, really nice pop tune. Also featured in the film Help, didn't it, when they're running around on that field. So again, unfortunately, well, fortunately, whichever way you look at it, that is number 21 in my rankings of the Beatles UK singles. Now, just remember, we haven't got yesterday or anything else in this. It is the original UK singles as they was released in the UK, basically. At number 20, From Me to You. Technically, this did get to number 1 and was technically the first Beatles number 1. Although in the UK, in the early 60s, there was more than one chart. There's about 3 or 4 singles charts. And Please Please Me actually got to number 1 in 3 of them, but not in the 4th one, which the chart that came after it was based on, basically. So, yeah, From Me to You, a lovely little early pop song by Lennon and McCartney. And I think the B-side, Thank You Girl, is also very overlooked. This is another reason for doing this, because some people, if they've only ever got the albums, there's not many people do buy singles nowadays, do they? They might not know what's on the back of, what's on the B-sides of some of these. So, yeah, that is number 20 in my little countdown at the minute. Again, fabulous little song, or fabulous little record. Nice pairing as well. I think those two songs do go together well. At number 19, we've got Lady Madonna and the Inner Light. Again, this did get to number 1 in the UK. Lady Madonna's a bit like an old sort of like rock and roll sort of song, isn't it? I think Paul said he originally wrote it and wanted that's Domino to record it. And the Inner Light is a first B-side in the UK for George Harrison. And this was actually the last Beatles single released on Parlophone. Everything after that was on their own Apple label, although it was still controlled by EMI, wasn't it? Again, nice pairing. Got to number 1. So yeah, that is number 19. I've just got to look down here because I'll forget where I am. Again, we're not paying much attention to these sleeves. We're more looking at these. Again, lovely. That is actually in lovely condition. Although I say this box set, because it was over there, so I just got that out to show you. A lot of these singles haven't actually ever been played. What my laptop is on, this big box here, is full of Beatles singles, and then there's one over there as well, which is full of Beatles singles. So what are we at now? We're now at number 18. Love Me Do, with P.S. I Love You. Love, love me do, you know I love you, I'll always be true, so please, love me do, oh, love me do. Now, really, I think if I did this tomorrow, this would might be a little bit higher. And again, P.S. I Love You is a lovely song. I'll be coming home again to you, love, until the day I do, love. P.S. I love you, you. When this was originally released in 1962, it only got to number 17 in the charts. But when it was re-released in 1982, it got as high as number 4. Again, a really, really good pairing of songs on that. And of course, that was the first official Beatles single, wasn't it? Bear with us 1 second. So that was number 18. Number 17. Some people might think, well, how can you have this one at number 17? Basically, because this is just the order of my preference for today. Like I say, on another day, this list could be completely different. So number 17, we have got All You Need Is Love, Love, Love Is All You Need, Love Is All You Need. Oh yeah, she loves you, yeah. Brilliant song. And the B-side, Baby You're a Rich Man. Again, a fantastic pairing of songs. And of course, All You Need Is Love was recorded during a live world transmission, wasn't it, for TV? It was called Our World or something. Again, got to number 1 in the UK. In one way, I think, although this wasn't a double A side, I think it should have been, because I think Baby You're a Rich Man is just as good as All You Need Is Love. Again, that is just my personal opinion, but I do think that is a brilliant pairing of songs, or coupling of songs, and it is a fantastic single. I think if I did this tomorrow, I think that might be a bit higher than what it is now. But for the purposes of this video, something has got to start it off at the bottom, and then we're working our way up to the top, aren't we? I think the top 4 would be the same on any day. So that was All You Need Is Love. Next, we've got the Beatles' second ever single, Please Please Me and Ask Me Why. Bit of controversy over this one at the time because, like I've just said, it did get to #1 in 3 of the 4 charts that were used in the UK at the time for singles charts. There wasn't just like one chart, there was a couple, but it didn't get to #1 in the, was it NME chart or something? So therefore, it is always classed as only getting to #2. Again, really, really brilliant early writing from John Lennon and Paul McCartney. Again, I think this is one that could have actually been a double A side, although I don't think they had double A sides in 1963, did they? Please Please Me, of course, that went on to be the name of the debut album as well. Ask Me Why, again, another brilliant song. Fantastic little single, to be honest. All these singles are fantastic. Next, this is where it could get into a bit of controversy. Like I say, this isn't based on any sales figures or airplay or anything like that. It's basically just my opinions on how I would rank them, and that's it. That's all this video is. It's just a little bit of entertainment. So, at number, where are we now? 15. I say controversial because this is like the record that broke them in America. I Want to Hold Your Hand. And on the B side of that is the brilliant This Boy. I Want to Hold Your Hand, I can understand why it broke in America. Up to that, they'd had like 4 or 5 singles, haven't they, in the UK? And the majority of them had got to #1, but all the singles up to this one, when released in America, didn't really chart, did they? I know like some of them were re-released when the Beatles went to America in early 1964. But to me, this just sounds like the Beatles trying to sound American. I don't mean that horrible or as a criticism, that is just my thoughts on it. It's a brilliant song, but I wouldn't say it's one of my favourite Beatles songs, which might come as a shock to some people. Oh yeah, I tell you something, I think you'll understand. I think it's a good song, but it's just not one of my favourite ones. This Boy, again, brilliant B-side. And obviously, that's the record that really cracked them in America, or broke them in America. So maybe really, if I was doing it on like sales, it would be higher. But this is just, like I say, this is just my personal preference of the Beatles UK singles. At number 14 is She Loves You, or She Loves You. Again, for many years, this was the best-selling single in the UK. In fact, up to 1977, I think it was from when it was released till 1977, this was the best-selling single in the UK. And what overtook it? Mull of Kintyre by Paul McCartney. So you've got She Loves You, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. And on the B side, you've got I'll Get You. Again, lovely pairing of songs. She Loves You, I do really, really like this song. I'm not saying I don't like I Want to Hold Your Hand. It's just, to me, it's not as good as some of the other songs. That's all I'm going to say on that. Like I said, I do love every one of the British Beatles singles. So that is number 14. Again, nice pairing of songs as well. Go together quite well, don't they? Number 13. Is it Lucky 13 or is it Unlucky 13? Well, it depends on whether you like the song or not, I suppose. This is Ticket to Ride, and yes, it is. Again, a brilliant song. I cannot fault this at all. This is actually one of my favourite Beatles singles, to be honest. Why I've got it at 13, I don't really know. Well, I do because of the songs that I've got in front of it. So, and yes, it is a brilliant John Lennon composition, isn't it? Yes, it is. Brilliant harmonies. This is when they were starting to experiment a little bit more and trying to do more like real life sort of like songs instead of I Love You and You Love Me sort of thing. Trying to make it a bit more, and they're starting to like just move out of the mop top image, weren't they, when they did this? Again, brilliant pair of songs. Again, got to number one. Most of the Beatles British singles did get to number one in the UK charts. There's a couple that didn't. Like we've already had Please Please Me, which got to number two, and Love Me Do, which originally got to number 17, but then when it was reissued in 1982, it did get to number four. So I hope you're enjoying it so far. Right, so that was, now we've got number 12, A Hard Day's Night, and Things We Said Today. Again, I think this is one that could have been a double A side. Obviously, A Hard Day's Night is the title track of Beatles' first film, and Things We Said Today is absolutely an amazing track. I do think that is one of the best Beatles B-sides ever. Like I say, it could have been a double A side. It's a shame it wasn't in one way, because, you know, but A Hard Day's Night is a brilliant song anyway, isn't it? So that is number 12 at the minute. Things We Said Today. If you don't know it, just play it. And it reminds, I can sort of see why they got onto doing things like Revolver and Sergeant Pepper just by listening to that song, because at the time that was completely different to anything that the Beatles had done before that, well, in my opinion. I think key changes in the song that changed halfway through, sort of thing. Right, number 11. This is from 1967, and it's Hello Goodbye. You say goodbye, I say hello, hello, hello. And the B-side on this is I Am the Walrus. Now, in America, I think this was actually classed as a double A side, wasn't it? I know that got the most airplay, but I Am the Walrus charted in its own right. Again, you know, it should have really been a double A side here, I think, but brilliant song. Paul McCartney trying to do a bit more of a sort of like tune to the like psychedelic singles that had gone before it, or the hippie singles that had gone before it. I mean, that is one of the greatest psychedelic tracks ever, into I'm the Walrus. Well, in my opinion, anyway. Lovely John Lennon nonsense song, isn't it? I'm the Walrus. And that in the UK, although that got to number one, the Magical Mystery Tour EP got to number 2 in the singles charts, and I'm the Walrus was also on that. Strange into how the record industry used to work in the 60s. Again, brilliant pairing. Now we've got number 10, 1965, the title track of the Beatles' second film, Help. Again, this is like where they started to get a bit more, not so poppy, a bit more personal. I think the B-side's built on this as well, I'm Down. They used to play that live, didn't they? Instead of Long Tall Sally, they used to close the shows with I'm Down, didn't they? Help is obviously John Lennon's song. And later on, he did say, although he didn't really know it at the time, that he was actually crying out for help when he wrote it. Lovely pop song, then. Again, UK number 1. And again, a brilliant pairing. Now we're getting up to number 9. Number 9. And this is on Apple this time. That narrows it down a little bit, doesn't it? And it's Get Back. Get back to where you once belonged. Love the song. And I think the B-side on here, Don't Let Me Down. Again, I think this is a record that really should have been a double A side. You've got the rockiness of Get Back, and then you've got it's really like a love song, isn't it, or a ballad. Don't Let Me Down. And of course, they did actually do both these tracks live on the rooftop of the Apple building, didn't they, in January 1969? Again, fantastic pairing, brilliant song. Again, UK number 1 on the Apple label. Now we've got, this was a double A side. Officially, this was double A side, like Yellow Submarine. And it's We Can Work It Out, Day Tripper. Again, I think at number 8. This is, sorry. That is a perfect pairing. This was released as a single in the UK at the same time as Rubber Soul, although these tracks didn't actually appear on Rubber Soul. I mean, Rubber Soul is a fantastic album anyway, but could you imagine what it would have been like with these two songs on it as well? Try to see it my way. Do I have to keep on talking till I can't go on? Life is very short and there's no time. Brilliant song. When Day Tripper is a bit of a like, I always think Day Tripper is like a bit of a rewrite of Ticket to Ride. Again, brilliant. Did get to number 1, stayed there for a number of weeks at the end of 1965. Again, I don't expect you all to agree with my choices on this. You know, you might think some of mine are, you might think, well, I can have, we can work it out above I Want to Hold Your Hand or something, but it is just my opinions. This is my ranking, my personal ranking of the Beatles UK singles. I will try and make this as quick as I can. And now we're up to number 7. Is it lucky 7? This is the Beatles' Let It Be single. And then it was later used for the title of the Let It Be album. It wasn't released till 1970. The B-side is You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. Again, it's a nonsense John Lennon song, although it's probably not as good as I'm the Walrus. It does make a nice pairing. And in fact, at one time, You Know My Name, Look Up the Number was going to be a Plastic Ono Band single. Now, you'd have thought Let It Be got to number 1, but it didn't. Got to number 2 in the UK. If I remember rightly, it's something like Bridge Over the Water. What's that? Is it? Like a bridge over troubled water by Simon and Garfunkel. It was something like that kept that from number 1. Now, most people say, yeah, Let It Be must have got to number 1. Unfortunately, it didn't. Got to number 2, so it was still, a big seller, wasn't it? And again, it is one of my favourite Beatles songs, actually, Let It Be. You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. The actual recording of that goes back to 1967, I think, started it, and then they did something else in 1969 on it, and then it was released in 1970. Again, brilliant song. Now, number 6 is, again, this is a single that I think should have been a double A side. Paperback Writer. What's on the other side? Rain. When the rain comes, they run and hide their head. They might as well be dead when the rain comes. When the rain comes. I actually think that is the strongest Beatles B-side ever. Again, this is when they was going more into like the psychedelic stuff, wasn't it? Brilliant pairing though. And I think in one way, this is why I don't like Yellow Submarine that much, because when you think of like We Can Work It Out and then this, and then Yellow Submarine seems just to be a bit like a backward step. Then obviously after Yellow Submarine came Strawberry Fields Forever. So that's why, in some ways, I think Yellow Submarine is a so-so song, but this one is fantastic. Love it. Like I say, one of the strongest, the strongest Beatles B-side ever. Just a couple more now. So at number 5, we've got the first George Harrison A-side. Although technically this was a double A-side. So you got Something, and that is backed with the classic Come Together. Again, unfortunately, this didn't get to number 1 in the UK. It only got to number 4. And you think how many times that, Something is one of the most popular songs ever, isn't it? And yet in the UK, it only got to number 4 when it was released in 1969. Of course, both of those feature on the Abbey Road album as well. So yeah, brilliant. Now I've just seen something come up on this video on my computer. So I don't know if you're still getting this or not. I hope that you are. But like I've said, this computer, I think I'm going to go to the shop and buy a new one in a bit, because this one is absolutely rubbish at the minute. But yeah, so that was number 5. Number 4, we've got the last ever Beatles UK number 1, The Ballad of John and Yoko, and that is backed with George Harrison's Old Brown Shoe. I say it's the last Beatles number 1 because it is, but there's only John Lennon and Paul McCartney actually play on The Ballad of John and Yoko. Again, so that was the last ever Beatles UK number 1. 3 more to go. Number 3 is I Feel Fine. I'm in love with her and I feel fine. And that is backed with She's a Woman, which again, I think could have actually been a double A-side single. Brilliant song. Beatles at probably one of the best times in their lives. You know, they were still enjoying the touring, weren't they? You know, still like very, very friendly with one another. You know, still enjoying the fame. That was number 3. Number 2 is, and this was a double A-side, Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane. Now in the UK, again, this didn't actually get to number 1. It got to number 2, and it was held off the number 1 spot by Engelbert Humperdinck's Please Release Me, I think, if I remember rightly. I think Penny Lane got to number 1, didn't it, in America, but Strawberry Fields Forever got something like number 36 or something, didn't it? Yeah, lovely pair. And again, of course, these were originally going to be on the Sgt. Pepper album, weren't they? But EMI and Capitol wanted a single, didn't they, straight away, so it was whoosh released. So what's number 1 then? Have you worked it out yet? What I think is my number 1 Beatles UK single? If you've been paying attention, you should know that there's only one left, isn't there? And it's Hey Jude. And backed by Revolution again. This is one that could have been a double A side and probably should have been a double A side, to be honest. Hey Jude, brilliant song. Whenever we go to Liverpool and we sit in the Cavern Club, we will start singing this, and then whoever's on the stage will start singing it as well. I know it's a bit naughty, but you can have a laugh and a joke in the Cavern. That's in the lunchtime sessions, by the way. And of course, this was the first ever Beatles single on their own Apple label, wasn't it? So, I'm brilliant pairing. So I hope you've enjoyed that little video. I'll say little video. I did want to make it under about 35 minutes, and I think I've done it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I don't expect you all to agree with my choices, but if you've ever done something like this, tell me what your top 5 would be. Something like that, yeah? I think my top 5 would always be the same. Hey Jude, Revolution, Strawberry Fields Forever, Penny Lane, I Feel Fine, She's One, Ballad, John Yoko, and Something Come Together. Yeah, I think that would always be my top 5. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it hasn't been too boring for you. I just thought it'd be nice because I was looking on YouTube the other day, and I would have thought that somebody would have done something like this. They've done it sort of similar, but they haven't just done it on like the UK singles. Well, I don't think they have. So what now I've said that, I'll probably get comments saying, oh yeah, there's loads of them out there, but I couldn't say any the other day. So I just thought, that is something nice to do. And it ties in with that one we did the other day about that in that book, which was the 20 best Beatles albums, which I said, well, are they really the best Beatles albums? Now with this is the single, so there was all million sellers, weren't they, sold in the millions. So, but like I say, when you're doing something like this, there's all got to be something at the top and something at the bottom. And like I say, if I did this like next week's listing might be slightly different. Hey ho, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I haven't bored you too much. Just a quick shout out. Thank you to everybody that is subscribing to my channel. I hope you all enjoy it. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, hit the subscription button down there, and then if you hit the notifications, which is be around there, won't it, I think, then you'll get notifications for when I'm doing new videos. It doesn't cost you a penny, honestly. subscribing to a YouTube channel doesn't cost you a penny. Although it's Beatle Dave, I do videos on other artists from time to time. We've done Adam and the Ants, the Kinks, the Specials, the Ivies, Billy Preston, Sex Pistols, things like that, you know. So David Bowie, done quite a bit on David Bowie. So, you know, there is something for everybody on this channel, and there is enough videos now. You know, so, you know, check out some of my other videos if you're new to the channel. And once again, thank you to everybody that is subscribing, liking my videos and leaving comments. It does mean a lot to me when people leave comments, especially if they like saying, oh yeah, that's brilliant, oh I didn't know that, and things like that. You know, I'm here to entertain you. I don't take myself too serious. So until the next time, once again, thank you everybody who are supporting me and have supported me in my little channel. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I hope this makes you like think, would you do that in that order? You might have Yellow Submarine as your number one. I don't know. Everybody's tastes are slightly different, aren't they? But for today, on the, what are we on, the 31st of the 5th, 2022, that would be my ranking of the Beatles UK singles. So until the next time, it's Beatle Dave wishing you all peace, love and happiness. Stay safe, and I'll catch you again very soon. So until the next time, it's ta-ra for now.